Awesome. And here we go.
Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. We got a great segment for you. It's called The Athlete and the Chef. So sit back, relax, and let's go.
All right. Welcome back to the Max Effort Kitchen podcast. I am Matt. This is Cornell. We are an Athlete and the Chef show. How you doing, buddy?
Good, except there's one little gnat that keeps flying around me. So if you see me doing this, that's what's
you're not actually going crazy. It's okay, cool. Awesome, dude. It's been a couple weeks. We took the last week off. Dude, this last 4 weeks have been crazy. I mean, I say that a lot. I think I say it too much. I cooked something fun today. I went back to something that I really, really enjoy, and it's super easy. There's really no technical ability to it. Barbecue weather out. It's just a good time of year around here, and I bought about 5 pounds of skinless, boneless chicken thigh. I chopped up an entire onion. I did garlic powder, ginger, and what else did I do? I put another one in there. Nope, I think that's it. Salt and pepper. And then I put the thighs in there, mixed it up so all the stuff got in there, put in what's called a Yoshida sauce, which is a gourmet sauce that I found it on Amazon, but I usually get it at Costco. It's teriyaki essence, I guess you could say, but it's a really thick, syrupy one. Okay. And then I put some buttermilk in there. We all know, buttermilk, what it does, it tenderizes meat because of the acidic value of it, breaks down the proteins. And that's why they use it for fried chicken and stuff. But mix that up, let that sit in there for, I think I put it in there at about 11 o'clock tonight or this morning, and I cooked it around 5. That over rice with any kind of salad, it's just a super satisfying, wholesome meal. It's not super fatty. It's got good carbs. It's got good protein. I mean, the only way it gets bad is if I put mac salad on it. But outside of that, I'll say something. I'm a slut for mac salad. I don't even know if that's a good thing to say, but we don't need to dive into that. Just wanted to say that out loud. So I was telling you pre-show, we got a new little dining set for the outside, and it's been a busy freaking couple weeks, but we've still been able to sit down and have some good family time and eat dinner outside. And it's those little things, man. It's those little things. It's not the big things are cool too, but the little things I think make more of an impact.
Yeah, no, that all sounds great. We are right in the middle of trying to get our house sold.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit frustrating because we listed the house last week and we're all stoked, and someone else listed their house. Someone else listed their house the same day. But they were a lot more money than us, and they were literally on the freeway. But I was like, that's cool, because people look at that house and this house, and it's both. They're within $100,000 of each other. So they're and we're within a couple hundred square feet of each other as well. And I was like, that's perfect. They'll see that one and they'll be like, that sucks. And they'll see ours and be like, that's the one. And then 5 other people within about 1,000 feet as the bird flies decided to list the house in the next 2 days. So right now there's a cluster of 6 houses all in the same price range right here.
Wow, dude. I can understand the frustrations there. I do have to say, and I might have said this to you already, and I don't know if I did, so apologize if I did, but hey, there's something about, because we talk frequently enough that I know that I know almost every step that you did at that house. I've been to your house a couple of times. Dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm super impressed, and it's like really a cool thing to see somebody do the work. Like there was something authentic about, like when I watched your video of your house, I was like, the thing that makes this cool better than the other ones is that I know that Cornell did all this work. And it's like that. There's something cool about that to me. And if you're out there and you're looking for a house down there, buy his house. Don't buy the other clusters of houses because you guys have a very good like home feel. You know, like I think I said on the Polo, I'd buy that house.
Yeah, there's one that just went on the market that was the biggest bummer because it's literally like my backyard backs up to that street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the inside of the house looks just like ours. It's a little bit bigger and it's got a pool, but it's a flipped house. So it's like, it's spotless all the time. And I've got 3 dogs, 2 kids and a wife still living here. And it's like just trying to get everybody to keep everything clean and don't leave your freaking dishes in the sink and put it away and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be probably our biggest challenge, but that one is about $100,000 more than us. So we'll see how it goes.
It was interesting. We've done something before when we moved, and like I get super antsy and I start packing stuff away, and I pack the kitchen and all the dishes, and I'm like, this is your dish, this is your spoon, this is your fork, this is your cup. This is all you get. So you don't wash it, guess what? You don't have anything.
I wish I could do that. Or just do like paper plates and cups. I would be totally fine with that too.
Yeah, that happens too. Being in a restaurant, I come home with a case of like paper plates and I'm like, hey, we're doing this today.
Yeah.
Dude, I can only imagine because I kind of know, but I kind of don't know, but like you got a lot going on. You did all the stuff to your house. You're in the process of moving across the country where you've never done before. Like, let me ask you this. Do you see, I mean, maybe it'll be better on the reflection side of things, but do you see your family like coming a little bit closer together? Are you guys like bonding over this, or is it like we're just in the thick of it and then we can reflect on it and maybe then we'll bond?
I'm hoping we bond later, but right now we're all kind of sick of each other. I think it has a lot more to do with me being sick of them because they're not changing their lives really. They're just, I know they're teenagers and they're kids and they just leave their crap everywhere. And I'm the one now. It's like, no, this needs to be perfect. You guys don't understand this.
Right.
And it also doesn't help that it's the end of the school year. The kids have like 1 day of school left and my wife has like 3 or 4 days of work left, like closing out the school year. So, it'll be different when they're here because all of a sudden then they're going to be using the house all day instead of just in the mornings and evenings. But we'll see kind of how it goes. And it's literally out of my hands now. And there's nothing else I can really do, which is kind of one of those bummers because I kind of felt like getting everything ready for the open house and for it listing was kind of like the kids getting ready for finals. Yeah. And then they got to do their finals and they're all relieved. And then I got it all done. We had the open house and then 2 people have come in the last 8 days to see it. And I'm like, crap. Like I knew that the market was slow, but I wasn't expecting it to be like 2 people see it in a week.
Yeah. Yeah. That's tough. Like you said, though, you have a cluster of houses. And so hopefully, you can outlast them and they get frustrated and take their stuff off the market. Don't know if that's how that works or not, but I would be really surprised if it didn't sell or at least get more hits here soon. It's just a beautiful area. It's a beautiful house. So you live down there, go check it out. Okay, dude. Let's see what, I had a fun experience today and I kind of want to talk about it, I guess. Been doing a lot of sports lately. Let's just put it that way. Like between football, track, and weightlifting, like these sports are all just kind of melding together and they're like stacked on top of each other during the days. But I'll talk about one experience on Friday that I recognized. in the younger group of kids. And then I'll talk about what I saw today at the weightlifting meet. But we lost our first game on Friday. It was the last game of the regular season. You know, we got our butts kicked. Like literally, this team had our number. Couldn't do anything. I had like 4 or 5 kids just pretty much quit on me, and it was really eye-opening to see maybe how a generation is brought up to learn how to lose. And these kids are 10 years old, so I can't expect them to know how to do it yet, quite right. And that's my job as a coach to really, drive that home, which we're going to talk about a lot tomorrow at practice. But like the ability for, these kids, we've gone 5-0, right? And never, we were blowing teams out of the water, and then we meet one team that just does that to us. The whole idea of losing, to me, I'm over here like, yeah, that sucks we lost, but what a great experience. And I had parents like kind of looking at me like, what? You lost a game? And I'm like, no, this is good. They're 10 years old.
Yeah, no, your kid lost the game.
Yeah, they lost the game. But it was just super interesting because I had never dealt with that before. In the other sports that I've coached, I've always had a very small team. And, I think that when I was the head coach, I kind of instilled like this idea of like, we don't stop until we stop. Like that's all there is to it. And we lost a bunch of games my first year coaching, but we ended up winning the championship. And I think that helped. But man, I was frustrated, and because I didn't know what to do. I'm like, am I a bad coach? But I'm not. I don't think I'm a bad coach. I think that I'm instilling some good stuff into them. But like, the idea that these kids like completely, I had one kid just quit at halftime. I can't play this game. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't play? Now, there were a handful of kids that did really well with it, showed good sportsmanship and all that. And I'm getting somewhere with this, I promise. So I get out to the weightlifting meet today. I'm going out there to support Donald and, load his bar and just kind of be there with him. His first meet back. He did awesome. But the community I saw at this Ironside meet was like no other I've seen in Portland. There was a lot of great positivity. There was a lot of like, hell yeahs and slapping hands. And the vibe at this meet was awesome. Even when people weren't making lifts, like it was like, all right, well, I got another attempt. And I'm like, and I'm hearing them say this, in the back room, you hear a bunch of people talking, all that, and coaches and stuff. It was just a really pretty well-ran meet. They had all the people and equipment they needed. It was all great equipment. Good, an air-conditioned back room, a non-air-conditioned platform, which I thought was funny, but kind of cool. But this idea that I just, experienced this weightlifting meets where all these adults knew how to lose. And like there were people dropping lifts and they were like, you know what, that's all right. And I know that's a local meet and all, but like, I mean, that was really cool, Cornell. It was really neat to see.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll definitely be an interesting thing seeing how these kids grow up just with the constant you're winner. Here's your participation thing. Wednesday, I think it was, I went to my nephew's baseball game and he's on. They're like, yeah, these are the all-stars. I'm like, he's 5. Maybe he's 6. He's not very big. Yeah. He's like 3 feet tall. So they don't have, the kids are not pitching, and they don't have like a machine that shoots or that throws the ball. Like I remember there was like a spinner and then they dropped the ball and it would shoot it. And they had this catapult spring thing. I don't know if you guys have those up there.
I haven't seen them.
Set it in, and then the coach was actually the one, and they would give a countdown. They're like 3, 2, 1. Then they push the button, and it just hucks the ball. And
interesting.
Yeah, it was. But what I didn't understand was all the kids had to do was get the ball into the infield, then they put their hands up and yell, and it ends the play. So
Really?
there's a line. Yeah, there's a line in the middle between first and second and third.
Okay.
And if the kid is past that line by the time the hands go up and the kids yell, they get to go to the next base. And if they're not to that line yet, they have to go back. And it just seemed like I questioned. I'm like, what the heck's going on? This is like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They're like, oh, well, they're all like, they're not really skilled in all this stuff yet. So instead of them, basically, this is how I heard it. Instead of them learning how to do it, they just get the ball in and yell time. And I was like, this is like the stupidest thing ever. And then if there's 5 runs, then it's automatic. The inning is over.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else where if they had, I think if everyone went to bat already, they didn't get to go again. And I was just like, they say, well, they don't want to have like, these kids don't know how to throw very well, so they don't want every hit to be a home run just because of technical errors. I'm like, no, these are kids. Make it like 80 to 55. Like, it's okay. Just that's how they're going to learn. They're not just learning. And everyone was just throwing to one kid because it was like that kid could catch.
You see that a lot in kid sports.
Yeah.
The thing that sticks out to me about that, and I've seen that in other sports, like they do that with some soccer stuff, but like, the one thing that sticks out is like, I think we're confusing kids because they come out of that and then they're expected to know how to play baseball. And we're like, they don't have the skill beyond just throwing it from the outfield to the infield. Yeah. Like, this is, and, I'm pretty in tune with kids sports just because of being involved in them. But like I got Jack signed up for 3 football camps this summer. I didn't even start going to football camps until I was a freshman in high school. Like the amount of exposure that is out there and available these days are crazy. And so they're starting them at a young age. So why don't we just teach them the fundamentals of the game and the actual rules of the game so they can learn? Because I feel like it's confusing, right?
Yeah, and it's just like they don't want to throw a ball and miss it and then feel guilty about it. And like it's like they're, I don't know, it's creating a bunch of freaking pussies out there. And like my daughter doesn't listen to this show, so I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
They had their dance this weekend and her, I guess we'll call it boyfriend.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
He will not talk to me. He is too terrified to come up and introduce himself to me. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And like, they never come over here. They always go to like these neutral places where all the kids just hang out and they're never around any parents. And it's not like they're out screwing around and doing stuff they're not supposed to be, but
right.
I'm like, what's wrong with kids today where they don't want to be in awkward situations, so they're just avoiding these situations. And I was like, growing up, I was over at my girlfriend's house all the time. We were at friends' houses all the time. It's like I knew all the parents, they knew all the parents, and that it just something that Donald said earlier this week is it's just today's generation of like they don't want to be in a situation where they feel awkward.
Yeah,
and that's what life is going to be. And it's not going to go well for these people. And I see that in a lot of people with weightlifting, where a lot of the younger people that coming into the sport is they have a lot of potential and then they have one little setback and they don't know how to handle it and they just quit.
Yeah.
And like I haven't seen that many, but there's probably been a solid 5 to 10 people where I'm like, this guy or this girl could go places, like could get pretty good in this sport. I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and win the Olympics or anything, but I kind of look at where I got to with my work ethic and my skill. And I'm like, you could 100% be better than me.
Yeah.
And these people are just, but then the mindset of them, it's not there. And then they just quit and they walk away and yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's it's like when kids, and Jack does this and every time he does it, I talk to him. I have like a good rebuttal of like, he'll be like, Dad, When I get in the NFL, I'm like, bro, hey, let's go to high school first. Let's and then when we get to high school, let's worry about like if you're going to actually make it to college football. Then I go the NFL, and I think we talked about this one time when I broke it down for him, and it was like I haven't really heard him talk much about it since then. But he had all the kids on the team are like, oh, I'm gonna play for the NFL. There's this, and I even looked at Alana today and go, are we giving our kids like a fake story that they can do anything they want? Like, because sometimes I'm like, I want my kids to feel empowered, but I also want them to know reality. And sometimes those are hard conversations. But sometimes I got to let them experience things for themselves. But I honestly, like, I understand what you're saying. They're like you and me. I mean, I was taught that when you meet your girlfriend's dad, you shake their hand and you look them at the eye. And like, that was the first thing that I was like, you shake a hand, look at them in the eye, and that shows respect. And introduce yourself. And that's what I had always done. But oh boy, I will not handle that well. So kudos to you for.
The first time I hung out with my wife before we started dating, it was they were getting ready for her sister's wedding, and they were like getting some stuff ready. I'm like, hey, do you need help? I'll come over. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't have anything else to do. She's like, my family's all here. I'm like, that's fine. I haven't met them yet. Might as well meet them. And I had a girlfriend who said that she wouldn't go out with me until I asked her dad's permission.
Wow.
So I set up a breakfast with him, and he said no because she was too young.
Of course he did, right?
Turned out that she was one of those homeschool kids. I was homeschooled too. She was one of those homeschool kids who got started. She was held back a year. And I had just graduated high school, and she was going to be a sophomore. I'm like, whoa, she didn't tell me that part.
Hold up. I see why he said no. Yeah, dude, and it's like I was lifting. It was sometime last week. I was lifting, and I'm looking like, everybody does it. And I hang up my medals in my garage or whatever, and I'm looking at them. I was like, man. So I have a thing of medals here, and then I have printed and framed pictures of like people that I've gone to meets with and had. We always take group pictures and stuff like that. And I'm like, wait. That is why I do it, because these medals, I heard someone today be like, yeah, everybody gets medals. Wait, what? What do you mean everybody gets medals?
At the meet today?
Yeah, I didn't stick around for the actual award thing, but he must have been joking or sarcasm. I don't know. I hope so, at least, because it was. I mean, there was only 30 people in the meet, so maybe different weight classes. Maybe some people get medals. I don't know. Either way, I think we've talked about this before. How in USAW and pretty much any weightlifting event, really, no matter who's running it, they give out a lot of medals. I wish there was only 3 medals per meet. And to me, I think that would make it more, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. If it's just like best male snatch, best male clean and jerk, best male total, and then do the same for the females, and we call it a day. I guess that's 6. But I don't know, man. What do you think about that?
Our gym they generally do that on the smaller in-house meets where they just say, like, here's the Sinclair. There's not a master division. It's just, here's the Sinclair.
Yeah,
and they
I like that.
3 to the male, 3 to the female, and that's it. With the bigger meets, when it's selling out, that makes a little bit more sense. But
yeah,
I've even heard of some of these local meets, though, doing, it's not masters. It's your 5-year increment master. So there could, like, every single master who lifts could get a
what
if they're all in different weight classes and age brackets. And I'm like, I don't think that's right.
No, I don't think that's right at all. I mean, I know
it just really takes away from the accomplishment of what you're actually doing.
It does. And the whole idea of like gaining hardware to me seems a little fake. And dude, we're not, I mean, for a longest time, I thought we were the only ones that really thought that this was an amateur sport, but I heard somebody else say it today and I was like, high five from across the gym. But he was like, none of us are getting paid to be out here. We're just doing it for fun. We're paying to do it. And, I know we talk about this a lot and it may sound like we're devaluing the sport, but we're not. It's just a matter of like, let's make the accomplishments mean even more by making that medal or that prize or the reward or whatever it is a lot harder to get. I mean, the sport's hard enough as it is. Training is hard. The older you get, it's hard. It's just the way it is. And some people like it, some people don't. I personally like it. I know you do. I mean, it's like it's something that we've kind of grown up doing. And the people usually that I'm around are probably the same way for the most part. But making that reward mean something, it makes such a big difference. Even if it is an amateur sport. And to me, so like I like to bring it full circle and like instilling that into our kids and let's stop giving these participation medals. Like it's just the one thing they do in Special Olympics that I really like is they give out 3 medals for one race. Everybody else gets like a little flag and nobody wants to get those little flags or the ribbons, right?
Yep. And
so it's like you get a medal if you take 1, 2, or 3 and that's it. And it's really neat. I like that they do that. It breeds competition. It breeds success. It makes people want to work harder to get a medal next time. And to me, that just that really speaks to me.
Yeah, I like, and we've discussed this a few times on the show. Like, we don't need to just fluff up someone's ego, like, but you want to be able to take pride in the work that you've done. Yeah. So if everyone's getting a medal, then they can just the coach can go out there and say like, oh yeah, they medaled first place in their weight in their category. They just leave it at category because they don't want to be like age category and weight category. And I know we've talked about where if you're the only one in that session, like don't let that take it away from you and feel bad that you were the only one in the session because you beat everyone else who wasn't there.
Correct.
But at the same time, when there's 25 people competing and there's 25 medals being given out, I don't think that's right either.
Right. I think what what you said about that, it really don't discount your work just because there's nobody that showed up to your session. I think that's separate than what we're talking about here because that's a medal that means something. That's a medal that says, hey, I showed up. I did the work. I, put myself in the awkward position. I made the travel plans. I, made a commitment and followed through with it. And I guess in a sense, that's what medals mean, but like, give us a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I'll take a t-shirt. Everybody got a t-shirt and we only had 3 medals. I'd be stoked.
Oh yeah.
I'd be happy. Then I would have paid another $25 for the damn shirt, but
yeah.
Either way, I think, creating something in the sport that is, I guess not that's obtainable, but like hard to be obtained, means a lot to me. I have a hard enough time in the sport as it is. And you guys, you especially, cause you see me do my ups and downs and I know you do. And I know everybody on the polo sees it and I'm doing my best to tame it a little bit. But those up and downs happen and it's cause I'm aging and it's because I'm pushing like I was 5 years ago. Right. And people like 5 years, 5 years means a lot. What you were lifting 5 years ago to now is a big difference. Right. And I am really surprised about that with myself of like, man, these are numbers that I was like training every day with 3 years ago. What the heck, and you start going down this like big old rabbit hole and you're like, what is wrong with me? I suck. Oh, maybe it's my coach. Maybe it's my programming. Maybe it ain't any of that.
It's just the shoes. It's always the shoes. That's why you buy new shoes.
That is why you go out and you get new shoes, buy a new pair of socks, go cut off sleeves on your shirt or something, and next thing you know, you're back at it.
Yep.
I love it. The shoes. It's so true, dude. You put on a new pair of shoes and you're like, I'm back.
Yep. New shoe, new me.
Yeah, dude. That's good stuff. But hey, I wanted to shout out Donald. Dude took 2 years off. 2 years off of competing. He trained all the way through it.
Yep.
This is the guy that travels back and forth pretty much to the East Coast to the West Coast, once every 2 weeks, I believe, maybe a little more frequent. Gets to see his family pretty sporadically. Dude is always traveling, flies helicopters late, all through the night. Dude, and he goes out and he hits a 12 kilo PR in his total. Like, I think I text you this, but I have never seen him lift like this. There was a determination and there was also a calmness to him, which I'm like, I didn't expect that. I thought he was going to be like, put himself in the corner, staring at the corner, don't talk to me. But he was like laughing in the back room, talking to us. Like, it was something I've never seen out of him.
No, that's awesome. No, I saw the lifts and they looked amazing. He was freaking on fire.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the first meet after his last meet that I did as well.
Yeah.
Where that was like the biggest meet of my life. And I think I had
same thing.
11 kilo PR. So
exactly. He beat you by one.
But still, he's this guy who he doesn't lift with people. He's always getting transferred to different places for work. He's always dropping into new gyms and finding new gyms, and he lifts alone, and he's just been grinding and figuring stuff out and fixing his body and being smart about it. And I think it's tough.
It was really cool, dude. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I got goosebumps during the whole time I was there. And I'm like, man, why is this? I mean, obviously I know why it's doing that, but like, he just, not to mention he's a massive human.
Yeah.
Like, we all know how big he is, but then stand next to him and I'm like, man, I feel small right now. Mm-hmm. His calves are like wider than my head. But he's just such a great guy. Like, he's cool because his family was front row. Like I said, the vibe there was really great. They had music playing the whole time, and people were missing lifts and making lifts, but like everybody was like out there just like supporting each other, having a good time. And he got off the platform, I think, on his last lift, and the announcer was like, everybody give him a round of applause. This guy is 49 years old. Like, he's the oldest guy there.
Yep.
Yeah. It was
no, I will tell you one thing that I had at my last meet. There is no pressure like the pressure on your sixth lift if you've already made the first five. Because then there's the pressure of making that first snatch when you go out there. Yeah. When you're like, I've made 5. I could have the perfect meet. Yeah. And then it's a lot more pressure.
I've gone 6 for 6 once, and that might be no, I've never gone 6 for 6. Never mind. So I don't even know, but like, holy crap, I never even thought of that. Like, I'm always like, get that first snatch in, great. Yes. Yeah. Everything just let down. Awesome. Now let's go have fun. But that's an interesting topic, dude. Like, holy crap. What, you want to go 6 for 6, you get to lift 6 and you're like, if I make this, it's good. Well, we're good.
Especially with like USAW, like national meets.
Yeah.
They give you like I know it's like a 3-cent little wristband or bracelet thing that you get, but you get a thing that says 6 for 6.
Really?
And then you start spotting them. Just one of those little cheap rubber wristbands.
Yeah.
But then you start spotting them and you're like, I remember I think it was 2018 AO3 when they did 3 of them. And I missed my 5th or my 6th lift, and I was so bummed.
Yeah, bummed, dude. Oh man, that's a really cool thing that they do that. I like that. You know what I was just kind of reminded of? We'll talk about it next time. Never mind. It's with the USA Masters and all that stuff that's going on with them. But so let's see. You got moving coming up. You had talked about going out to Tennessee to do a meet. Is that still on the maybe list?
It's on the probably not list because I don't know when the sign up is. I mean, I might still go out there, but I don't know when the sign up cutoff is, but it's in about 5 weeks. And I said that I would go out if our house was in escrow, so that I could meet with the builder and kind of get some stuff figured out. But I wasn't going to do it if we weren't there.
Yeah.
So, and as of right now, we're not there. So I don't know when the cutoff is. It doesn't really matter to me if I would compete at it or not. Like if it still worked out, I could totally still do it, but and just not compete. It's just timing. So
yeah, that makes sense. And then after that, it's Worlds. Yeah.
Yeah. I might do something in the middle, but it won't be anything that I'm stressing out too much about.
Yeah. And I got something coming up next Saturday. I'm doing a little local meet here. I'm looking at it as it's just a big Saturday for me. Cool. We're not really going to taper too much. Like I'm going to hit my openers tomorrow, and he'll probably keep me at about 70 to 80% all the way through the week. And he's like, if you want to go a little heavier, go a little heavier. He's like, just be smart about it. And I'm just going to look at it as like me going out there having a good time. It's just going to be fun. Like, yeah. And then for me, after that, then I'm going focused towards Worlds. I mean, I'm kind of doing this because of Worlds. So, but really looking forward to getting down there and doing that meet and just experiencing the whole Worlds thing. I know you have. And I've heard all the stories, and I just like, I can't wait. I'm going to get down there a couple days early and just like really try to soak it in as much as possible. And whatever happens after that, what happens after that. But I don't know. I was thinking about this today. I've heard people talk about like retiring. And I'm like, I don't know if I would ever say I'm retiring. I would just be like, yeah, I'm not going to compete this year. And then when it came up again, maybe I'll do it. But I don't know. I think that maybe once I get deeper in, I'll probably feel differently. But I don't know, dude. Yeah. I have a hard time. So for me, and this is just a me thing, I have a hard time saying favorites. I have a hard time saying goodbyes. I have a hard time being like really. Maybe it's a commitment thing. I can't say forever. Like I'm done forever. But I don't know. Maybe my body has to tell me, I think.
Sure. No, I think I know what you were talking about bringing up, and I think that would be a good one for next week.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it has something to do with this, and I've got some stuff to say on that, but I don't want to open that box of worms right now. So
yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Well, we'll just call it there before I just try to go any deeper into that. But dude, great to be back on the mic with you. I mean, it was only a week off, so whatever. I like to hold on. I want to say one thing. I liked what you said on the polo the other day, which was there are people out there that do podcasts, and there's people out there that are podcasters. Dude, it's always quality content over quantity. And that's what it is. I feel like we put out a pretty authentic, podcast because we say what's exactly on our mind.
Yeah.
And if that's who we are, and if you don't like us, it's probably because of that. But hey, that's a you problem. And so I've just, if there's anything you want to hear our opinions on, just let us know because we try to create some authenticity here. So. Anyways, dude, cool. Great show. Thank you for taking the time to get on. I know that you got a lot going on, but got anything else?
I don't think so.
Cool. All right, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Adios.
Bye.